welcome to my channel. This is Lynn the Sim, and today we're doing a Seasons starter home that is a 1-bed, 1-bath, and total with the house and lot under 20,000 simoleons. Hopefully it works out. It was really complicated, mostly because Seasons interior anything is actually pretty expensive, so I ended up running into a lot of issues with the rates, and I think I ended up having to kind of go sparse on any decor, interior or outerior. So outerior? What? Exterior. So one thing that I've been kind of playing around with when I'm doing these builds lately is pretending that the house is like one original portion of the house and that there's an add-on. And I'm using that to kind of play with the roof. Though having an original portion of the house makes your roof interesting, it also gives you a chance to have a second exterior color, because usually with add-ons you can't make it exactly the same as the original one. So you either keep the original and add a new, or you just reside the whole house. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of mimic that in real life, so that it has a chance to, I don't know, be interesting, because a house, the sidings tend to get really boring if you're not careful. And so it's just kind of like an idea I've been playing with. I thought of it after I did the roof for my last house, which you can see on the right there, but that's kind of what played into the different stones on my last one, was that idea. So in this particular house, the original portion is this section right here where I just did the giant roof, and that section. So these two are the original portions of this house. And then the rooms at the back are add-ons that came later on. So I thought that would be like a fun way to kind of think about this house. So roofing is so much fun. No. Roofing I've found to be very complicated, and I had to watch quite a few videos of other people doing roofing in order to get a good idea of how to make it interesting, because I was doing either just flat roofs or just giant gabled roofs or things like that, and so it was super boring. So yeah, roofs are hard. I know a lot of people have trouble with them. That's why there are so many videos out there on how to do roofs. And if I ever get better at it, maybe I will also do one of those. But for now, I'll just do these speed build videos because I actually really enjoy them. Though this section right here is kind of a good reason why I won't be doing one anytime soon. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to try this and see how it looked. And as you can see, it was total crap. So I do end up getting rid of it and deciding to go a different route for the roof over the porch. I think I just kind of flattened, yep. So, and that's the roof. It took me a while to get there, but yeah, so on to the exterior walls. So again, let's keep in mind, I did say we have the original portion of the house and then an add-on portion of the house. So the stone ends up being the siding for the original portion of the house, because I feel like it made more sense for it to be an original versus an add-on. So when we get to the add-on later on, I think I may get the wood slats just to keep within Seasons but also make it interesting. Yeah, so I choose, yep. Getting ahead of myself. So yeah, and then this part was interesting because I had to figure out how to make it not weird. So I end up adding a post here in the hopes that it kind of accounted for the transition. And now the windows. So the windows were nice because they were all, I think, $30 and never went above $30. And then the doors were either $50 or $250. Yeah. And I really wanted to go for the $50 option, but I liked this door so much better. So this is probably why I ran out of money. So I decided to choose that door. And at this point, you can kind of see that it is kind of turning into a lodge kind of cabin-y feel, and I did kind of run with it. I used a lot of brown tones on the interior for furniture and things like that, because I felt like it just made sense. We were going to do a Seasons build, we're going to make it a Seasons lodge. The only thing I didn't do that I might do later on a later build is make a seasons build that is themed per holiday. So like this is just like agnostic, if you will. And then maybe we're coming up on Halloween, shockingly, so maybe next time I'll do a Halloween build, just to make it interesting. I'm about to get down to the nitty-gritty on the interior of the house, which, like I said, it did actually get pretty complicated. So we're going to start by sectioning it out. I decided early on that this would be a bathroom, and then the bedroom would be there. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking that it might be too big, and so I think I do narrow down the walls here. I bring everything in just one square, just because I realized that the plan I had in my head was just a little bit smaller, so gotta adjust those roofs. It's always a pain, realizing at the last minute, oh no, I didn't do the roof. Okay, the kitchen. So, like I said, there are no seasons cabinets, but so I end up going with just the base game, the ugliest ones they really have. But I felt like these black ones with the white countertops are the most realistic and simple. They're not quite as terrible as some others are. And then I always add one of these end cabinets in because it opens up the room, I feel like, to have a glass panel rather than just this plain old black one, which just kind of blocks off the wall. So at this point I realized that the kitchen was kind of sparse. There's not much room for working, so I decided to add a sort of island, but the island pieces are too big, so I end up just adding normal cabinets in the center of the floor. And I think it works pretty well, although I do move them later on because they're too close to, they're about half a square too far into the center of the room, so I think I end up moving them. Okay, so now on to the dining room, I believe. Back to seasons. Oh, we're gonna add lighting, never mind. This was hard because these were the only two pieces I had to work with. And unfortunately I realized a little too late that I didn't want to use the yellow ones. Was after I finished recording the video, so the yellow one stayed. So if you end up downloading it, you always can change that to literally any other color, because personally I don't like yellow, but especially on lights it ends up looking a little funky and dated, but that's just me. Okay, so I think, yep, so now onto the dining room, and there's only one table, so that makes it nice and easy, and there are a couple chairs. There's a decent price difference, so I end up just doing 4 of these at this giant table, and I think it looks fine. It's a simple, really basic dining room. And then on to the living room. The other thing about these builds is that there is these game packs, expansion packs, they don't have any really electronics in them, so even though I wanted to put in a TV, there isn't one here, so I end up going with the cheapest TV, which is the ugliest TV. But part of me was like, well, it's a cabin. Maybe they decided they didn't want to spend any money on a TV. So, yeah, it was kind of complicated. So the bed now, I definitely wanted a double, because in my head I was like, this is either going to be one person who like moves their other in, or you might move in 2 people like as a couple. In my original plan for this house, it was going to be a 2-bedroom, but there simply was not enough money for an adult room and a kid's room. Like, you run out of money so fast with this, so I ended up having to delete the kids' room. So you can always add one back on. It was just going to be up on the other side of the bathroom. So if you end up making money while you're living in this house, you could do that. And then it was funny, I realized I didn't have a light in here, but the other lights didn't really make sense for the bathroom, and so I think I ended up just going with a base game light, because it was, yeah. I'm trying to decide where the window should go here. I'm like, wait, no. Switch it all back. Control Z. Yeah, Control Z. It looks kind of weird. And then this one came with all of the bathroom furniture, so I added in the seasoned shower, toilet, and bathroom sink, which I guess I could have used in the kitchen, but it didn't really feel like it fit. I couldn't use it with the cabinets. So now we get to adding stuff for skill building, so I add this giant bookcase, which required that I make the walls taller, and then I also do this for flower arrangements, which I felt was pretty apt given that it's seasons and you can do flowers now. So now I have to add flooring because there's no seasons flooring. I switch over to base game, and I do one of these basic $4 floorings for wood because wood made the most sense here. And then personally, I always turn off the grid so that I can actually see the floor whenever I'm installing it, because the grid, I feel like, just makes it too busy and I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so the lighting in the bathroom. Yep, one of the small base game saucers, because that's all that really made sense. And now's when I realize I did not do any of the exterior appliances, which means I don't have a mailbox and I don't have a trash can. And of course, I forgot to put a trash can inside, but I also didn't really have a spot that made sense to put one. So once I realized I didn't have a trash can inside, I was like, whatever, there's one outside. It's fine. So yeah, we've got a trash can and a mailbox. So that is a good start for the exterior. And then I see this little umbrella stand and I think, you know what, it's a covered porch. Let's put it right by the door because that makes the most sense. No one wants to bring their dripping umbrella inside. And now to the back patio, because I realized I don't have a fence here like I do for the front, and I also forgot the stairs. So I go ahead and put these in, and then you'll see that I also noticed that a piece of the wall is missing some siding, so I add that in as well. Gotta get those stairs in. Didn't know what color they were, so I had to go grab them from the front. And here we are getting the siding. Perfect. So now the exterior is pretty much done, and we need to go to the interior because now is when I need to add the interior wall colors. And you'll see I go and I do check the season stuff to see if I can make it work inside, but I think it's just the stone is just too much, so I end up going with this peach color for the living room and bedroom, and then like a faded blue for the bathroom, and I think those colors work pretty well for the style of house. Like the peach just goes really well with the brown tones of the wall. And so now we are gonna go look and see if we can find a TV, and I do choose that cheap $500 TV. I could not bring myself to do the penguin. Couldn't do it. I'm like, there are no kids here, it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, why not add another window here? If I have a window, that means I don't have to add art here, so I'm gonna put a window here. Window's cheaper. It's only $30. Art's like $250 if I'm lucky. Now I'm looking at the bathroom and I decide it needs a wall here to separate the toilet from the shower, because it does have like the shower has a built-in tile wall there on that side, and so I felt like it made sense to add a real wall. So now I'm like adding some decor. Finally, let's liven up this space, get some rugs in here. And I really do like this rug and this design. Personally, I'm partial to vines and plants. Can't keep a plant alive to save my own life, but I do really like plants and like things like that. So and so we add another rug here in the living room area because it felt a little too bland. Although if I'm being honest with you, the rug that I chose, even I'm not fully sold on it. I feel like it just doesn't quite match, but I felt like it needed to be dark for that cabin feel. It felt right for some reason, but even I don't like it all that much. So now we're gonna add some stuff to the exterior patio because I felt it looked kind of bland, like there wasn't enough there. So I add these wall succulents over the flower arranging table, and then I add this nice little plant right up the stairs. And then I go to base game and I add some little lavender plants here. I think there's just, it's another one of those things where I felt like it just worked, like lavender and cabins. I don't know why it goes together, but in my head it does. So now we're going to go around to the back of the house and attempt to decorate the back patio, although you'll see that I end up not doing anything because it's all so expensive. I play with the idea of pumpkins for like half a second, and then I realize they're like $300 or something stupid, and so I just end up deleting them and going straight back to the interior because I just couldn't deal with that. And then I'm just kind of looking around trying to see what to do next. This is where I realized I didn't have a trash can, and I was wondering where to put one. Then I changed my mind and decided not to care. I like that little succulent plant. I think it's so cute. I would love to have one in real life. Again, a fake one because I can't keep plants alive, but that's fine. And then I'm like, let's add, there's no light in the entryway, let's add this little lamp onto the bookshelf. And I really like that blue one with the branches going up the side. I think it's cute. There's a lot of branches in this theme. All right, I want to add a little decor to the dining room table, and this is where I'm like trying to add little things to kind of liven up the space. And this is where I realized there is no clutter for the kitchen, and I think I just end up abandoning the kitchen and leaving it boring because there's not a lot to go with here. And so I do like this. I think it's random that it's in with this particular section. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I wish I'd seen it sooner because I probably would have used it somewhere if I had had money. And then I see the towels and I'm like, well, yeah, let's put something in the bathroom. The bathroom's boring, I guess. And so I add these towels in. And for some reason, it does take me a little while to figure out the placement of this towel rack. I'm really not sure why. I don't know. Apparently, I wanted to be very particular about it. And I'm just kind of playing around here, trying to see if I can like make more space, but I think it just makes sense the way that it was. And here is the Slim Pickens selection of wall art from Seasons. This one is really all I have to go with that isn't super like holiday themed, and so I end up just adding some fall branches to the wall in order to like get something nice in here. And now we're still just kind of browsing to see what is even available. And then I remember I wanted the outdoor lamp string that comes with Seasons, except I realized that I can't do it without having BB Move objects on, and I didn't really want that to be the case for this particular build. Like, there are some things that do require BB Move objects for this build, like where I put the cards that I'm about to place in a couple seconds or things like that, but I didn't really want that for exterior lighting because I felt like it wouldn't really be a great experience for anyone downloading it and having to place it somewhere. And so now trying to add some decor, got some cards in there, gonna add these boxes underneath the TV table. And you know, I really can't say it enough, there is not enough money for all of this, because we are, I think that's a 19,890. It's kind of hard to read, but we are pretty much at our max budget. There is not much more we can do without going over, and so I'm just kind of exploring to see what we can find. There's really not much more I can do. We are at our max, and so that is pretty much this video. That's just about everything that I have, and so here's where I go to the exterior and I realize there are a couple things I can and should do. So I size up this beautiful spring wreath and place it right here because I feel like it just makes sense. It's a gardening house. It's a floral arrangement house. Maybe she made it herself. And then I'm like, okay, I need something to kind of separate the ceiling, and I don't really find a great way to do what I was hoping because I was looking at the wrong thing, which I realized after I recorded this video. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, but still. And then next we add, I think, one tree. But that's pretty much it for this video, so on to screenshots. Thanks for watching.